And I don't know about you, but I am not in that business of having my energy zapped. I need all of my energy. Thank you very much. So today, what I wanted to touch on was how you can pretty much be able to spot and know when a person is an energy vampire. Hopefully you all can hear me. I am outside. There's a couple of people cutting grass and doing some things in the park, so hopefully you can hear me. But just a little disclaimer. I am not a psychiatrist. Blah. I'm not a psychologist, okay? I'm not a counselor. I'm none of that. Any situation that I speak on strictly from experience, okay? And in my nice big old age, experience, I have a lot of it. So I just wanted to kind of touch on a couple of things, and hopefully this video will be helpful to someone. I'm gonna just come out, admit, and just say it. Like a lot of times, in my younger years, I just always had a desire to help people, to help their situation, to just genuinely be able to help someone, and to be able to give advice according to what I knew, what I went through. I've just always been in the business of helping people. I love helping people. But what was happening, I was finding out a lot of times that certain people I would give advice to or attempt to help, a lot of times what was happening is that it's like almost my very being was being zapped of energy. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, after I, mentored or talked to or let someone vent or whatever the case is, I would find just my entire mentally, I would be physically, mentally, just all around just drained. You know what I mean? And, obviously in my younger years, I didn't really have that much wisdom. I was just doing it, out of the kindness of my heart. I was doing it. I was trying to be genuine. I was trying to be helpful. But I didn't have a lot of wisdom. I didn't have a lot of understanding. And so, I was overzealous, and I was pretty reckless with how I helped others, okay? Because in turn, I would pretty much damage myself. Friends of mine, really close friends of mine, would always just say, you can't save the world, you can't help everybody, and things like that. And, I tried to listen, but at the same time, I found it extremely difficult to just turn somebody away if they felt like they wanted to talk, or to just ignore a person. I felt like I was being selfish if I just cut them short, was standoffish, and kept things short and walked away, and all of those type of things. So I always lent myself, okay? And in doing that, it was not good. It was not good, okay? I don't know what any of you believe in, but I definitely believe in, and I know that spirits can transfer, energy can transfer, and what people are going through all around, it can transfer, and you can carry it, and it can be heavy, it can be weighty, it can just be ugly, okay? A phrase, spiritual vampire, I'm just using that because, I think a lot of people can relate to that. That's a phrase that is used today that I heard. But So that's why I'm using it basically. How to be able to tell if someone is an energy vampire. You have to be able to discern, if a person is or not. You can usually tell this, within your first conversation with them, honestly. You know, and I'm going to tell you how you'll be able to tell this in their first conversation. So, you start having a conversation with a person, and everything is going smooth. It ain't nothing but a little conversation, right? And the person doesn't seem like they're toxic or they're negative or any of that. They seem nice, they seem sweet, whatever. You chopping it up with them, and you listen to them and everything like that, and you don't see anything wrong with it. But you start to notice that they're pretty much, it turns into a full-out vent session. You feel me? A full-blown vent session. So you listen, and you try to see if you can help in some type of way, and yet the person is just kind of going on and on and on and on and on and on. Okay, so what I want you to do is listen carefully, okay, and discern whether the person genuinely has a concern and they're trying to vent to you, or if it seems like it's something, or if it's a situation that they have been in a toxic cycle with, and something that they have been dealing with for a long time. Because let's face it, people that are energy vampires, they tend to talk about pretty much the same situation or the same toxic situation to a lot of different people, and they talk about it often. They talk about it a lot. It's typically the same thing, right? So be able to discern who you're dealing with, okay? Consider the source, consider the person, because most energy vampires, they're very, very selfish, and they're inconsiderate, okay? They may not want to do so on purpose, but they tend to be, okay? You have to remember that even if you want to help a person, okay, and you truly, genuinely want to help them, you want to help their situation, you have to remember that you are not a dumpster, okay? You're not a garbage disposal or any of that. So you have to really be careful. You got to be careful, okay? Most energy vampires are very selfish. They only want to talk about what's going on with them, okay? Most of them, they really don't give a shit about what you got going on. It's just the truth, okay? They really don't care what you have going on. And most of the time, how you can be able to tell that is that if they're venting to you, first of all, a conversation should be two ways, right? It should be pretty much reciprocated. But if you're talking to a person that's basically draining you, they're gonna go on and 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 on about their situation. As soon as you interject and you make kind of bring in your situation or a similar situation, just so that they may be able to relate to you, you'll find that they'll quickly cut you off. They'll rudely cut you off. They seem like they're very uninterested in what you have to say, because the truth of the matter is they really don't give a shit. They don't care. They really don't want to hear it. They want you to hear what they have to say. Point blank, period. They don't care about what you have going on. When you do get a little bit of their focus and you start to kind of talk about possibly how your situation may relate, or you start giving them points to try to help their situation or whatever, they'll always find a way to bring the focus right back to them, okay? They'll always divert the conversation right back to what they have going on, okay? And they'll keep going on and on. And so that's how you can also tell that this person is about to zap, the very life out of you. Most energy vampires, hate to say it, but it's the truth, they are usually also professional victims, okay? They have learned and they have practiced how to be a professional victim. Most of the time, you're not going to really hear these people taking any accountability, even though the situation that they're telling you, it may be another person's fault, but they still may have, a small percentage of fault in the situation. You won't really hear them saying that at all, okay? So, lack of accountability. They really will not take a lot of accountability in their part of the situation at all. They will more than likely put all of the blame on this other person, or the other situation is always somebody else, so they're pretty much the professional victim. And they have practiced this and they have embraced it and they have been in this for so long that they don't even really know that they're a professional victim, but they really are a professional victim. Because everything is pretty much woe is me, sob story. The only thing they want you to do is really to get on board with them and confirm that they're a victim, and to join in the pity party and the woe is me. That's what they really want you for. They want to dump everything on you. Most of these people, even though it may seem like they want some type of solution to the problem that they're bringing to you, most of them don't. It sounds weird, right? But most of them don't. Most of them don't. And how you can tell that is because when they tell you their situation, they vent to you and everything, and you give them good, sound advice, most of the time they won't take it. Okay? Most of the time they will not take the sound advice that you are giving them. Seems super duper weird, but most of the time that's how it is. So don't be surprised if in this conversation you start to offer some resolve to what they're going through and they seem to minimize it or they don't respond to it at all. Don't be surprised. This is just part of what they do. Okay? Also, energy vampires, this may cause you to become extremely frustrated. Like, what is the point? I'm giving you sound advice and you're pretty much just shunning it. They kind of want to stay in that situation because it gives them a reason to not be held accountable, okay? To not change and to stay the professional victim, right? Because it's always, somebody's always doing something to them. It's always everybody else's fault. So if they actually take your advice and your advice works, then the scenario changes, doesn't it? Now they're not the victim anymore. Now they're the victor, okay? And most of the time, these people, they're just so used to being a victim, okay? And they probably have been a victim for a long time. So you have to be careful with these type of people because they will zap the very life out of you. And I don't know about you, but I am not in that business of having my energy zapped. I need all of my energy, thank you very much. Okay? So just be careful and discern when these people, approach you and they call you or whatever the case is. Just be very careful and try to discern whether a person genuinely is seeking advice and help and they want their situation to change, or if they're just really talking and they're zapping and they're pretty much just in this habitual toxic cycle of being an energy vampire. Okay? And I'm not saying, to treat that person bad or anything like that, because some of these people truly don't know and they're really not aware of what they're doing because they've been doing it for so long, and they need to learn different coping mechanisms and different strategies to get out of this cycle, right? So a lot of times they're really not doing it on purpose, unfortunately. But a lot of times it's out of your reach, okay? You may not be that professional that can really help them. They may need a higher level of professionalism, some type of psychiatrist. They may need, to go, seek professional help for it, and you just cannot help them. But it's up to you, and it's your choice, and it's your right for you to realize and understand that, the help that they need is definitely out of your hands, and that you cannot help them, and it is definitely okay to cut them off. It's okay to just tell them, like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be funny, but I can't deal with this. I really don't know what to tell you. Okay? Or you can attempt to give them advice one time. You see that they're really not trying to take it. At that point, wash your hands, move on. But do not let people zap the very life out of you. Do not let them use you as a dumpster, and do not let them suck the very life out of you. Okay? Energy vampires.